That God still selects, still honors, still delivers your life is becoming a living prophecy. And as much as you might try to downplay it or humbly hide the magnitude, it won't be possible. Hey, what's coming is too big to hide, too loud to silence, too heavy to carry alone. So get ready, support is coming. Two connections, alignments, people sent by divine order. Because the magnitude of this blessing requires structure. You can't walk into it the same way you walked into the last season. That's why you've been shifting emotionally. That's why your desires have changed. That's why you've been feeling like you're being reset. It's because you are. This isn't the season to play small. This isn't the season to doubt. This is the season to expand, to stretch your hands, your mind, your faith, your vision. Stop thinking about what fits into your current wallet. That's limitation thinking. What's coming can't be folded up and zipped shut. What's coming is too big for secrecy. You are going to need multiple streams, new containers, upgraded capacity, and a fortified spiritual mindset. Your relationship with money is about to transform because money is no longer going to be a wish or a prayer. It will be a response. It will be a divine consequence of who you've become. The overflow is simply the echo of your alignment. The abundance is the evidence that you passed the test of scarcity with honor, with resilience, and with unshakable trust. The attacks weren't random, the delays weren't punishment. The lack wasn't your identity, it was all part of the preparation for this moment. You were made for this. You were born to receive this kind of heaven-sized wealth, not just for you, but for those around you. Your family, your legacy, the community, the silent watchers who need proof that God is still in the business of breaking limitations. You are that proof. You are the miracle. They'll see the transformation. They'll witness the jaw-dropping, logic-defying overflow carrying chosen one who makes no sense to the world. But every bit of sense in heaven, and you didn't miss it. You didn't lose it. It's still coming, and it's coming bigger than your wildest blueprint. Stay open, stay ready, because the floodgates of heaven don't trickle. They pour. The sound of overflow is near the vibration in the spirit. Realm is increasing. You are not waiting anymore. You're receiving, and nothing can stop it. Now your entire life has been stretching toward this moment. Everything you've lost, everything that was taken from you, and even the things you had to walk away from, all of it was making room for this flood. The divine doesn't just send something this massive into a life that's still tied to the past. So the pruning had to come first, the shedding, the loneliness, the confusion, the silence. It wasn't rejection, it was refinement. Your future couldn't afford the presence of the wrong people, the wrong mindsets, or the wrong systems. Heaven needed you cleared out to receive the size of the blessing that was always yours. This is no longer about surviving paycheck to paycheck. This is not about scraping just enough to get by. You've entered into a completely different reality. Now it's a realm where supernatural provision becomes a lifestyle, where provision meets purpose without delay. And you're not going to have to fight like you used to this time. It's going to flow. Not because life suddenly got easier, but because you are aligned. You're no longer resisting the abundance with small thinking. You're no longer shrinking out of fear of what others will think you've accepted. That the spotlight is not for vanity, it's for testimony. Your wealth will be a testimony, and this wealth is not just money in the bank. It's freedom. Freedom to move when you're called. Freedom to give without second-guessing, freedom to build. To invest, to rise, to bless, to employ, to create impact. Without a budget limit, you're not receiving wealth just to look wealthy. You're receiving wealth to operate as the chosen vessel. God designed you to be, and what God is sending cannot be contained in a wallet because it's not wallet wealth, it's kingdom. Capacity wallets. Break kingdoms, expand, and you chosen one are stepping into expansion. Let go of any idea that you're not ready, that you need to know more, that you should wait for a better time, that you don't deserve what's about to hit your life. That mindset no longer belongs to you. The version of you that lived in limitation is gone. You are in the territory of divine inheritance now. And that means your thinking must elevate no more, hiding from blessings that carry your name. No more denying the favor that's been tracking you since birth. No more guilt for being chosen. You didn't ask to be anointed, but you are. And the anointing comes with supernatural benefits. God is not dropping this blessing into your lap. By accident, you've been observed. You've been tested. You've been watched when no one else saw. And what heaven saw was someone faithful with little, someone honest in quiet seasons, someone who gave when it hurt, someone who kept showing up. Even when exhausted, someone who praised in pain. That kind of consistency qualifies you for overflow, not just any overflow, but one that breaks generational patterns. The kind of overflow that transforms your last name into a legacy. The kind of overflow that says from this day forward, everything changes. You're not going to just see more money in your life. You're going to see new systems of wealth. You'll receive instructions you've never received before, ideas that feel too big because they're bigger than you. And that's the point. You were never meant to fund the vision alone. You were meant to host the vision, while heaven funds it through divine partnerships, supernatural opportunities, and unexpected release. You've been thinking like an employee, now it's time to move like a visionary. You're being set up to operate at a level where budgets don't dictate decisions. Faith does watch how the pieces start falling into place. Watch how old fears vanish because your spirit has no time for delay anymore. The blessing is too close, the momentum is too strong. You're in the current now, and there's no swimming backward. The waves are carrying you into divine assignments that require divine resources. Don't fear the size of what's coming. Don't fear the expansion. You're not under pressure, you're under promotion. The reason it's overwhelming is because you've never seen yourself this way before, but heaven always has. People will look at you and wonder how it happened so fast. They'll see the elevation, the peace, the prosperity, the transformation, and they'll think it was overnight. But God knows how long you've waited. Heaven knows how long you've carried vision with no provision, how long you labored with nothing to show for it. But now it's your time, not because you said so, because heaven said so, because the countdown finished, because the door was open, because the fullness of time has finally touched the earth and it touched down in your direction. You're going to need new space physically, mentally, spiritually, financially. What's coming will not fit into the life you used to live, and that's a good thing. You're not called to comfort. You're called to movement. So don't resist the shakeup if it feels like things are being torn down around you. It's because the structure needed room to grow. You're being expanded. Because the blessing is not just coming to you. It's coming through you. You are a divine channel now. And that flow can't be blocked. Heaven's wealth is multidimensional. It's not just zeros in a bank. It's peace of mind, it's healing, it's elevation, it's spiritual clarity, it's business ideas, it's divine health, it's real love, it's legacy level success, and yes, it's financial freedom in ways you've never seen before. The wealth you're about to hold will make your past look like someone else's story. Because from this point forward, your identity is shifting into divine dominion. Not pride, not ego, but divine dominion rulership over what God is placing in your hands. You're not just going to be someone who has wealth. You're going to be someone who is wealth. Your very presence will shift rooms. Your voice will open doors. Your signature will release funding. Your ideas will attract investors. Your obedience will spark miracles, and your yes to divine assignment will unlock realms of provision that make your old salary look like pocket change. Not because money is your God, but because God is your source. And when you align with that truth, you lack nothing. Get ready to outgrow fear. Get ready to be misjudged by those who stayed behind. Get ready to explain less and move more. Get ready for new mentors, new atmospheres, new experiences that stretch your faith into places you've only dreamed of, and don't panic when you feel unqualified. Remember, you were chosen before you ever felt ready. What God is sending doesn't require your perfection. It requires your participation. All you have to do is receive. Be in position. Keep your heart open. Keep your hands ready. Because what's coming next can't be missed and it will not be delayed. There's something truly divine about how God orchestrates increase. It never begins with just a deposit. It starts with a decision. A heavenly decision that shifts your spiritual rank. A decision that says they're ready now when that moment arrives. Nothing can stop it. Not the lack in your account, not your background, not your past mistakes, not the naysayers who never saw your value when God decides that abundance is your new reality. Everything must move into alignment, and that's what's happening now. Everything around you is shifting, not just to bless you, but to prepare you to steward something massive. You're not just about to receive money, you're about to become a divine movement chosen one. What God is sending to you isn't showing up in pieces, it's showing up in waves. You might feel overwhelmed, but that's because you've never received on this level before when a supernatural flow is unlocked. It touches every area of your life at once: your finances, your creativity, your purpose, your relationships, your time. It all begins to elevate because God doesn't bless you. Halfway, the blessing that's about to crash into your life is going to flood places within you that were dry for years. You're going to see doors open that you didn't even know existed. You're going to hear yes where you used to only hear no. The resistance is breaking, and what's breaking through is wealth on a divine scale. But let's be clear, this isn't about materialism. This isn't about chasing shiny things. This is about stepping into a divine assignment that requires divine funding. You can't build a kingdom vision with limited tools. You can't shift a generation if you're still fighting for scraps. You can't rise as a leader if you're bound by fear of lack. That's why God is breaking the cycle you're being delivered from. Small-mindedness, from lack mentality, from survival mode, the chains that kept you thinking you had to earn love, earn favor, earn rest. Those chains are gone now. You're stepping into your inheritance, and it's vast. There will be days when you'll look around and not recognize your life. Not because it changed suddenly, but because you finally stepped into what was always waiting for you. You'll remember the version of yourself that cried on the floor, wondering if this moment would ever come. You'll remember the prayers you whispered through clenched teeth, the fast, the journals, the long nights, and all of it will be answered. Not with just comfort, but with confirmation, the confirmation that heaven never forgot you, that every delay had a reason, that every no was pushing you toward this. Yes, what's coming is going to outgrow your language. You'll run out of words to describe it. People will ask how it happened, and you'll just smile because you'll know. It wasn't your hustle, it wasn't your connections, it wasn't your strategy, it was favor. It was divine orchestration. It was heaven's perfect timing. And that's why it won't be temporary. That's why you won't have to worry about losing it. This blessing is not a test, it's a testimony. It's the result of your faithfulness in hidden seasons. You weren't overlooked, you were preserved, you weren't forgotten. You were being fortified. Chosen one, the size of the blessing is equal to the size of your responsibility. This overflow is coming to those who are ready to use it with purpose. Your obedience activated something, your faithfulness has been counted. You could have given up, but you didn't. You could have chosen bitterness, but you chose to believe, and now your belief is producing results. Not just spiritual results, but material manifestation. Because God is a multiplier, and what you gave in secret, what you sacrificed when nobody was watching, it's all returning with interest. The angels assigned to you are not bringing small shifts. They're bringing heavy deposits. You're not getting leftovers, you're getting first fruit. You're not receiving what others declined. You're receiving what was designed only for you. That's why no one else could steal it. That's why it never worked out with anyone who tried to imitate you, because you're not living off imitation. You're living in activation, and that activation is opening realms you've only dreamed about. You're going to meet people who've been waiting for someone like you. Doors that have been locked to others will swing open for you. Systems that didn't work for others will yield to your voice. You're not just favored, you're chosen to carry something the world needs, and with that kind of assignment comes divine protection. Don't worry about who's trying to stop you. Don't fear attacks. Don't let delay or difficulty make you doubt what's coming. Can't be blocked because it's not coming from man, it's coming from heaven. The economy can shift, the world can shake, but your blessing, it's sealed, it's scheduled, it's sent, and it's showing up with your name stamped on every corner of it. You are not stepping into an uncertain season. You are stepping into an unshakable one. There is favor chasing you. Now, not the kind you have to Earn the kind that tracks you down because of alignment, because of obedience, because you trusted when it made no sense. And now everything is about to make sense. You'll see why it didn't happen earlier, why you had to go through what you went through, why people left, why doors closed, why plans failed, because all of it led to this exact moment. And this moment is overflowing, it's holy, it's heavy, but it's yours. You're not just about to walk in wealth. You're about to live in a new reality entirely. One where money is no longer a struggle, one where vision is not limited by funding, one where creativity is no longer capped by cost. You're about to walk into divine partnerships, supernatural endorsements, financial favor, and heavenly inheritance that spills into every part of your being. You won't just look blessed, you'll be the blessing. And everyone who comes into contact with you will feel the evidence you are going to rise. And when you rise, the atmosphere around you will rise with you. You are the one God chose for this moment. You are the vessel that cannot be ignored, and you are being set apart to carry more than money. You're carrying divine instruction, divine authority, divine blueprint, and because of that, no weapon formed can succeed. The gates of lack will not reopen, scarcity will not knock again. Poverty has been evicted from your lineage. Wealth is not visiting, it is dwelling what's coming. Is so big, so wide, so deep, so overflowing that you won't even try to count it. You'll just flow in it. You'll live in it, you'll build in it, and most importantly, you'll give from it, because the real proof of divine wealth is generosity without fear. And you will give in ways that shift destinies. You will fund, vision heal, broken systems, support movements, cover bills for people who never even asked, because you'll recognize that this wealth was never just about you. It was always about the kingdom through you. You're not a beggar. You're not a borrower. You are not behind. You're being prepared for a wave that will never recede. A supernatural deposit too big for your wallet. Too large for old mindsets. Too heavy for shallow thinking, and too holy to be ignored. You are the recipient, the host, the vessel, the chosen one. And this blessing is already on its way. You've stepped into a realm where faith is no longer optional, it's your currency. And in this realm, things happen not by logic, but by alignment. You're no longer trying to figure out how it will happen. You've been promoted to trusting that it is happening. That shift alone rewrites everything. Your perspective is rising. Your posture is changing. You're no longer looking at problems as obstacles. You're seeing them as confirmations that your blessing must be near. Because the enemy doesn't fight what isn't valuable, and you chosen one are carrying something priceless. Something so weighty that the attack on your peace was never personal. It was strategic, but what the enemy didn't know is pressure activates power, and pressure has only made you more powerful. This divine wealth that's been assigned to you isn't random. It's not luck. It's not a result of trending tactics. This is a spiritual transfer, a prophetic release. You are not about to be blessed because of who. You're about to be blessed because of who you are. Your identity is your passport, your obedience is your access, and your consistency is the key that just unlocked the vault. What's arriving isn't shallow, it's not temporary, it's not for show. It's going to serve a heavenly purpose, it's going to flow through generations, and it's going to silence every doubt that was ever spoken over your life. Don't be surprised when your environment starts to resist what you're becoming. When people start acting distant, when certain places no longer feel like home. That's what happens when you elevate familiarity. Doesn't like expansion, but you can't shrink now. Not after all it took to get here. You can't pretend you're not chosen. Not after all heaven has invested in you. You didn't make it this far to stop at the edge. You are being called to cross over, to leave behind the world of just enough and enter into the promise of more than enough. This is a spiritual inheritance moment, and you're walking into it with boldness. Get ready for increase in every direction. Your name will be spoken in rooms you haven't entered yet. Your work will reach eyes you've never seen. The very things you thought were ignored are going to resurface and bring reward. What looked like failure was divine planting. And now the harvest is here, and this harvest is not Like before, this isn't one you'll struggle to hold on to. This isn't one you'll have to chase. This is the kind of harvest that will chase you. The blessing has been scheduled, dispatched, and stamped with your spiritual fingerprint. And it's not coming empty. It's bringing with it the strategies, the partnerships, the clarity, and the confidence to sustain it. Because heaven doesn't just bless it, prepares you or being equipped even as you read, this download after download is coming into your spirit. Dreams are carrying instruction. Stillness is birthing ideas. You're being saturated with new blueprints that's not your imagination. It's preparation. The vision you have is valid. And now the resources to build it are being divinely assigned. Let's be clear. You're not about to receive small gifts. You're about to receive supernatural evidence. Evidence that you were chosen. Evidence that you were called. Evidence that your sacrifice was seen. And this evidence will come in so many forms. Unexpected checks open doors, business deals, favor with strangers, approvals. You didn't apply for delays, suddenly turning into acceleration. All of it is part of the evidence, and this evidence will do more than provide. It will prove that your name is known in the halls of heaven, chosen one. This is not the season to question your worth. This is the season to stand tall in your truth, to walk in rooms with the confidence that you carry divine assignment, to speak with the authority of someone who's backed by heaven's economy. No more apologizing for the favor on your life. No more dimming your shine to make others comfortable. You've been chosen to rise, and your rise is necessary. Not for ego, not for pride, but for impact. People are waiting to see what God does through you, and when they see it, they will marvel. Not because of the material, not because of the luxury, but because of the transformation. Because of the divine glow that no one can explain, because of the peace you carry, the joy that doesn't make sense. The stability in the middle of chaos, your elevation will carry a fragrance, a signature of heaven that can't be copied or manufactured. You're about to radiate the results of obedience, the results of grace, the results of staying true when quitting would have been easier. You've passed too many hidden tests to be denied. Now the blessing has to find you. It's bound to your name. It's connected to your identity. And no force can steal what was spiritually wired to you. That's why you're being prepared with such urgency. That's why your routine is shifting. Why your emotions are resetting. Why you can no longer tolerate what drains you. It's because the new is arriving, and the new doesn't negotiate with the old. This blessing that's arriving, it's going to demand more space, and you'll have to make that space by saying goodbye to anything that doesn't match the future. You can't carry old fear into this new flow. You can't bring limitation into divine manifestation. You are being trained to think like a vessel, a steward, a carrier of something heaven crafted. Your instructions will change your rhythm, will change even your relationships will shift, not because something's wrong, but because everything is right. There's a ripple effect that's about to begin. One blessing will trigger another one, door will open 5 more. One yes will flood you with confirmations you're entering divine momentum, where heaven doesn't just move in your favor. Heaven flows. This flow can't be stopped. It can't be reasoned with. It can't be replicated, and you chosen one are going to be its proof. People will look at you and ask, how did all this happen? And your only answer will be, God did it, because you'll know deep in your spirit that what arrived in your life was never the result of human hands. It was bigger than your resume, bigger than your platform, bigger than your plans. It was divine. And no one can explain divine. They'll feel it, they'll see it, but only you will know what it took to carry it.